Welcome to this week's edition of Space News and a happy 4th of July to our viewers in the US. It has been another exciting week of launches, capped by the successful launch and deployment of the Capstone lunar mission. No pun intended. Besides Capstone, the past week saw a successful trio of missions from SpaceX, ULA, and a Paul Abdul-inspired mission from Virgin Orbit. Let's get into it. First, Capstone. If you've already seen our video on the Capstone launch last week, you can fast forward to the update on Capstone's separation from the Lunar Photon kick stage that happened just a few hours ago. Capstone, or the Cislunar Autonomous Positioning System, Technology Operations and Navigation Experiment mission, launched on the 28th of June from the Mahia Peninsula in New Zealand. Capstone is a 6-month-long Pathfinder mission for the planned Lunar Gateway. This mission will test a highly efficient lunar orbit, called the Near Rectilinear Halo Orbit, or NRHO, that's never been flown before. If successful, the Lunar Artemis Gateway space station will follow the same orbit around the Moon. Capstone will also test new peer-to-peer navigation capabilities by communicating with NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter. Onboard Capstone is a software called the Cislunar Autonomous Positioning System, or CAPS. Instead of relying on ground stations on Earth, Capstone will communicate with the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter to get positional and velocity data. After the third stage, called the Lunar Photon kick stage, separated successfully from the second stage, the spacecraft spent the next 6 days elongating its orbit to prepare for a ballistic translunar injection trajectory. Today, on the 4th of July 2022, at 6:56 p.m. New Zealand local time, Rocket Lab Mission Control sent the commands for the Lunar Photon kick stage to fire its Hypercurie engine one last time to accelerate to 24,500 miles per hour, or 39,400 kilometers per hour, to escape low Earth orbit.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition. Expected burn duration 98 seconds, and we are currently T-minus 9 minutes 25 seconds until AOS and ability to confirm.
A nail-biting 9 minutes followed as the spacecraft went outside of signal coverage, as expected.
AOS.
At reacquisition of signal, the team received confirmation of a good translunar injection burn from Rocket Lab's amazing Hypercurie engine. 20 minutes later, the team received confirmation of a good separation of Capstone, sending it to the Moon and the Near Rectilinear Halo orbit.
Expected deploy in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, deploy.
This marks the end of Rocket Lab's part of the mission, which is one smashing success. Once Capstone was on its own, responsibility for the mission was handed over to Advanced Space, who built Capstone and will operate the spacecraft until mission completion. Advanced Space subsequently tweeted this update. Capstone's journey to the Moon is expected to take around 4 months. Once it arrives at the Moon, it will then spend the next 6 months performing experiments to complete the mission. If you want to know more about Capstone and the launch, check out our video on the launch. You can find the link in the description below. On the 29th of June, SpaceX launched SES-22, a communications satellite that will deliver TV and radio services to millions of homes in the United States. SES-22 launched on top of booster core number B1073. This core flew for only the second time, having flown a Starlink mission back in May. It was pretty much a routine mission for SpaceX, capped by the beautiful, almost uninterrupted video feed of booster separation until landing on the drone ship, a shortfall of Gravitas, out in the Atlantic Ocean. SES-22 was deployed successfully and will enter service in early August. If you'd like to know more about this launch, check out our dedicated video on the SES-22 launch with a link in the description below. On the 1st of July, it was ULA's turn to lob stuff into space, this time 2 US government satellites. Using the Atlas V's 541 configuration, ULA launched a Wide Field of View satellite as well as a classified payload called the USSF-12 Ring satellite. The Wide Field of View satellite is a testbed spacecraft that will inform the next-gen Overhead Persistent Infrared Missile Warning System. Both satellites were released into geosynchronous orbit, which is approximately 22,000 miles or 36,000 kilometers above the equator, in another successful mission for ULA. As before, if you'd like to know more about this launch, check out our dedicated video on USSF-12, which will come out this week. The link is in the description below. On the 1st of July at 10:50 p.m. local time, Virgin Orbit successfully launched STP-S28A, also called Straight Up. Inspired by the Paula Abdul hit song, this mission carried 7 government satellites to low Earth orbit at an altitude of approximately 310 miles or 500 kilometers. The carrier plane Cosmic Girl, which is a converted Boeing 747 jet, carried a 57,000-pound or 25,800 kilogram rocket to an altitude of 36,000 feet or just under 11,000 meters before releasing the rocket. The mission ended successfully with the deployment of all 7 payloads. A dedicated video for this launch is coming out later this week. Be sure to check the link in the description below. Now let's have a look at the launch schedule for the next 7 days. On July 7, an Arianespace Vega C rocket will launch the LARIES 2 satellite for the Italian Space Agency. On July 7, we will see the launch of the first of 3 SpaceX launches over the next week. Starlink 4-21 will fly on a Falcon 9 rocket, with a drone ship landing in the Atlantic Ocean. On July 8, Starlink 3-1 will launch from Vandenberg Space Force Base on a Falcon 9, carrying another batch of Starlink satellites, with a drone ship landing in the Pacific Ocean. On July 11, we may see the launch of the delayed CRS-25 on another Falcon 9. This is a resupply mission to the International Space Station, with a drone ship landing in the Atlantic Ocean. It's going to be another week packed with exciting launches. Be sure to stay tuned. Thank you for watching. If you like the content, please hit that like button. It will be an honor for us to have you as our first subscribers. So hit subscribe and click that notification bell. Add a comment and share the video on social media. Your support means a lot and will help us grow this new channel. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram.